If you concede that the property of consciousness is feeling, sentience, and that the sentience creates unpleasant states, and that the unpleasant states are intrinsically or fundamentally negative and have value, if you're going to concede that, then the logic obligates you, okay? Whether I'm looking in the mirror seeing myself and saying, that guy has value, or I'm looking out the window seeing somebody else, it's the same value. Me, them. Me, them. The same property exists. I have the property of sentience, they have the property of sentience. I can be harmed, they can be harmed. Now my intelligence can't make a distinction except through bigotry. It can only through some preposterous bigotry say somehow my welfare is important, its welfare isn't. So that's what obligates you is logic. You're either, if you concede the premises, if you concede the properties, okay, the properties are in the things. Okay, they're not there for you to decide whether it is or isn't. If you concede it exists, and you concede it has the properties, you're obligated to acknowledge the properties. And your properties aren't substantially superior in some fundamental way. You have no reason to believe your properties are significantly different than their property of sentience. So how the hell can you possibly not be obligated by logic to concede the value? So again, it's not about caring. It's about acknowledging. It's about recognizing. Not caring. I mean, caring in an intellectual sense, yes, that's what I'm arguing for. I'm arguing for an intellectual recognition. And the fact that once you recognize something else's welfare is the same as your own, and then you might have this capacity to feel their pain in the sense that you could imagine yourself being subjected to the same circumstances and say, I wouldn't want that to happen, then again, it just seems logical that you would concede that it happening to them is no better than it happening to you. You can't find any logical reason to think it's better that they have it than you. Not logically. The property of value is in it, not in your judgment of it. So again, the fact that there was sentience on Earth long before human beings started speaking of a language is just the truth. The fact that there was blood on the board, that it meant something, that value was being, exchanged, created on Earth, created, living things going through experiences, value creation. And I'm arguing decidedly a flood of red numbers. And not really anything rationally that could be determined to be rationally a true positive to compensate for any of it. Okay, so again, your obligation, isn't to care. Your obligation is to respect the facts. The fact is, it's a checkerboard. The fact is, all the checkers are fundamentally equal, and it just goddamn doesn't matter who is suffering. The fact is that something with the property of sentience is suffering. That's all that matters. You manifest the property capable of suffering. They manifest the property capable of suffering. That equal sign is fundamental. It doesn't matter whether one guy has a lot of hair, one guy loses hair. It just doesn't matter. All the subtle little details, all the little subtle distinctions between you and me are irrelevant to the fact that conscious states exist, that we manifest them, and it just doesn't matter who's manifesting the suffering. But you think some part of this is sacrosanct. You think some part of this life, bubbly, happy rainbow bullshit actually has a function or a mission that's so valuable, so precious, that somehow compensates for this huge waste of gasoline that you're conceding exists, and conceding is negative. And I'm saying, yes, show me, prove it, demonstrate it, logically explain it, because I don't think you can. Yeah, that's enough. Part 1.